So I should have sound now, hopefully. Hello, Alyssa. So I should have sound now, hopefully. Sorry, I think I've got sound back. Can you hear me okay? I've just realised my microphone battery was dead. Great, thank you. Thanks for feeding back. Are you well? I hope you're well. I thought I'd try, just while I'm doing this, I thought I would just go live with some inking. I found Google Maps and a way to get Google Maps on the screen, as you can see in the top corner there. And when I zoom out on these maps, it should be changing on the stream. So what I did, I've done this building before actually, but it's Manning's. It's a hotel and restaurant in Truro, and I've done a much bigger version. But I quite liked the idea of taking a snapshot of this doorway here, and so that's what I was doing. I sort of penciled it out, and then thought, oh well, I might as well try and ink this. And I've got a little bit into the detail. Sometimes I don't do that, I go loose. But I've done this one before. Look, by in this little sketchbook somewhere here. Look, so. Obviously this was slightly different. I think I put some pencil outline on this, and then it's a much rougher sketch. As you can see, it's a similar scene, but a bigger, more scene in there. But I thought, well, I'm going to try something different on the larger sheet. So this is my A4 Nostalgia hot press, and you can see I've put quite a lot of pencil. On there, and I thought I would use a dip pen. I've never really done this before. So, Andrea, hello mate, fancy seeing you on here. Hi Andrea, how's things with you? So what I thought I would do is, sorry, a bit croaky. I've just been watching the cricket, England-India cricket. It was so exciting. I had a guy batting with one arm. Well, he wasn't batting. They had to keep him out of strike. Yes, thanks. I'm good. As you can see, probably in the little corner here, you can see my arm. You know, I have movement. I'm building up strength. Doing some work this week. Doing some shadowing. Yeah, so good. So I was just saying about the cricket. I was just watching the cricket. Thrilling into the series, but what I thought I'd do is I just thought I'd ink this on a live stream. I don't normally get this sort of detail conscious, but I didn't actually enjoy penciling this out. I probably got the pencil was probably a little bit too heavy. So I'm just going to steadily go through this. I need to just get the picture up, because I am going to try and get a little bit more detail conscious with this. So let's just make this a little bit smaller. Are you okay, Andrea? And what I can do is I can zoom in and just look at what's going on here a little bit. I'm hoping the microphone is good, but I have a little ink pot here, so feel free to ask any questions, anyone. A little bit different to what I normally do, so I don't really know how it's going to turn out, but I tend not to get sucked into this detail, but I thought, well, I might just do that, and it could go all wrong, but I don't really care. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong, doesn't it? Which it has done already. Oh, you're on the beach, right? Which one are you on? It's not very nice weather to be on the beach, mate. Yeah, I think there's some rain coming through, but I think this afternoon it's going to be good. You're on the north coast. North coast or south coast? So this is a dip pen it's a G script. I think it's Leonard script pen. It's really for calligraphy. But I've been meaning to try it for a bit of ink in here and see how I get on with it. I mean, to be honest, the fibre pens. Oh, Perth Kernick, right. Yeah, I think the weather's picking up better this afternoon once the rains push through. Sorry, I'm just crossing. I'm crossing between talking about equipment and talking about dip pens, and then talking about the weather in Cornwall. We're expecting some rain, I think, this afternoon. So I know this sign that Google has blurred out. It says reception, and it's a white sign. I mean, I don't know about these dip pens. I'll reserve judgment, because at the moment I've already smudged. Look, I've smudged down here. So that is the problem with them, and I have it now on my hand. Look, so yeah, there's not really a lot I can do with that, but it'll just become part of the drawing, and you've seen it happen. You've seen it happen live, look, on my hand, and I think that's why you have to be really careful. Thanks, Treya. Yeah, it's something new that I'm just trying. I've done live streams. They're on my site, and I do post them up. But I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful, because I've just put my arm on this. So there's probably a technique I should learn about not putting my hand into this. But my intention here was to sort of try and be a little bit more precise in the centre, and then put some colour down, and then around the edge leave it just with some black and let it all go fuzzy, so like a bit of a vignette zooming in onto this doorway. But I'm guessing if I make a complete mess of this, it's hopefully I won't put any more smudges on it. And if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. So you can see some of the chat appearing on the screen here because I've got this thing set up. And that's quite good for the replay, and then I can make this bigger if anyone's following along, which I doubt they are because it's an impromptu one. But I'm not going to be on for long. I'm just going to get this ink off my hand. But if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. I have some isopropyl alcohol. I'm just spraying on my hand. Not having done any dip pen inking before, oh, how am I getting the chat on the screen? Yes, so Alyssa, that's that program. I put it in a post. I can't remember which post it was, but it's called it's the free software post where I was outlining the software. Social Stream Ninja. So it's called Social Stream Ninja. I think it's .org, but it's a free piece of software that you can use for streams, and it works with OBS. So it's working through OBS Studio, and you then you have all the features of that you can drop into here. But yeah, if you want to go into it more, if you've tried OBS yet, I don't mind doing some one-to-one, you know, do it over Zoom or whatever and go through it a bit more if you've managed to get it on your system. But yeah, Social Stream Ninja, it's a stream chat plugin. I mean, it's got a lot more features than just chat. I mean, I'm just using the chat. But it's in one of my posts. I can't remember which one at the moment. But it's definitely there. And hopefully, I won't put any more black marks on this. I haven't really done enough accuracy with the pencil to be completely accurate. You sort of get to the point where, because some people shy away from being accurate and they want to be loose, and they call this tightening up. But it's a purposeful thing. So I think if it's purposeful, then you know you just do what you want, really, whether you call it tight or loose or whatever. I'm just trying to, at the moment, I'm trying to be a little bit accurate with what I'm doing with these lines, which isn't normal. I tend not to be overly accurate. But I will try and answer questions. So this is Manning's in Truro. See you, Drea. Have a good day at the beach. See you soon. Hope the weather brightens up for you. So one thing that can go very easily wrong here is just as you're doing these perspectives, you notice, I mean, you might not be able to see on the source, but this window inset here, it's all to do with the horizon line and which way the bricks point. But this corner reveal, I think it's called. At a certain height, the lines will start coming down, and it will be at eye level. So eye level is about the top of this sign. So this one is going to be straight. This one's going to go up ever so slightly, and this one's going to go down ever so slightly, and then this one will go down a little bit more, and this one will go down a little bit more. And if you get them wrong, it does show in the drawing. Again, you can care about these things or not. You don't have to be accurate. But if you're trying to be, that's one thing that you do have to watch out for with your perspective. Sometimes it's, especially when you use an ink, you can just go wrong. And if you're trying to be accurate, you think it's wrong, and then you can get a bit disheartened. If you're not trying to be accurate, it doesn't matter, because it all forms part of the fun, doesn't it? But I'm trying to be a little bit tighter than I normally would, so I will try and get these things right. And if anyone's watching and they want to ask any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. You should be able to see the chat appearing. I keep looking up because I've got that source picture zoomed in a little bit. I can actually zoom in like that, and I can check. So I'm on Google Maps here. I'm just zooming into this area, and I can check the detail. I'm trying not to smudge. I'm not going to go too high until this bottom bit dries. So you can see I've already made a mistake at the bottom. Not quite sure how I'm going to cover that yet. The difficult bit will be this this sort of what would you call it? This coat of arms here. Look, I will be, Karina, I will be putting some colour over the top of it, definitely. Oh, over the top of the mistake, yeah. But yeah, I will be putting some colour on this. It'll probably be some orange to highlight the sandstone, some orange and greys, and some other colours. But the good thing with the thing I quite like about doing this is, I mean, that angle I'm drawing, it's not actually the angle that's shown on screen, and you can sort of, with Google Maps, you can do that, you see, and you can like zoom in, have a look at some detail, zoom out, jump around. I mean, I've been down there and walked by it, and I've taken pictures. I've probably got loads of pictures over the years, but I do quite like buildings for some reason. So I do quite like to get them. Oh, hang on, didn't want to do that. I do quite like to get them fairly accurate. So I'm just going to hold it on that bit at the moment. I even got to the point where I wanted to get these the right amount of bricks, which, some people hate that, and at times I don't like that. I sometimes hate that as well, getting overly accurate and worried about it being precise. But on this occasion, it's actually what I wanted to do, so that's why I've done it. So I just want to make sure I've got 3, and then I've got the keystone brick. I think they're called keystones. Yeah, so I have thought about putting watercolour over it. Karina, hope you're well. Hope everyone's well, actually. See, this top bit looks like all one brick to me. I'm very conscious of putting my hand on wet ink, and I'm holding this quite loose now because I don't mind it being a little bit wobbly, lines being a little bit wobbly, as long as they're sort of wobbly in the right place. Really, this is going to be very dark here, so I'm not worried about that too much. Now, do I tackle the shield, or do I do all the shield thing at the end? No, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to carry on with the window reveal at the moment. So the way I like to do these, just make sure I've got the right amount of panes. So what I like to do, I like to actually draw the squares like this. This might not work. I'm not used to using this. I'm used to something that would dry a lot quicker. Oh dear, look what happened there. So you can't put the dip pen down at a funny angle. You have to, my hand is shaking. Got a big splodge of ink there. I don't know if I can suck that up. My hand's not steady enough. Oh well, it'll all add to the ambience, I'm sure. And there, it's run out. Oops. Just any questions? Don't worry about asking any questions. I'm hoping. Yeah, you can still see okay. Hoping the sound's okay. Oh, where's my Google Maps going? Sorry about this. So this is, I think it's a G script nib, I think this is. Right, where shall we go next? I'm not going to go on to the. The shield just yet. In fact, I'm just going to do some straight lines to get. I might move away from this dip pen. I don't know. So the current plan with this will be to not focus so much on the outside, and then put some colour on the inside. Probably a little bit messy. But I've sort of made a decision to sort of go larger, so that's what I'm currently doing. I'm in my larger sketchbook at the moment, and I'm just looking at the brickwork. I can't actually see this very well. Is there one in the middle of that? Oh, there must be. There must be. I mean, we can make that up. We can make that up later, I think. No, I'm going to zoom in. I can't quite see what's going on. Glenda, hi Glenda. Oh yeah, there's what is going on there? Sandstone. Oh yeah, so there is one. There is one here. These are like. I mean, these will take watercolour quite well actually, because they're obviously some sort of sandstone blocks, and you can see all the different shading on them. But I quite like doing brickwork. What I'm going to do at the moment is just get some lines in. So I've realised I'm just staring at this. I'm just staring at this, and it doesn't make for good viewing, does it really? It's quite pressurised being on a live stream. You feel like you have to perform. I don't know why. I think I said last time it is actually quite it's quite lonely, because I know there are sort of people there, but because there's very little interaction. I'm just going to go this way a little bit, because there's very little interaction. So I'm just moving up and down Lemon Street here on, this is in Truro. I don't know if any of you have been to Cornwall. But yeah, it's very little interaction, so it's actually quite lonely. It's quite lonely, really. I much prefer a meet. Meeting is much better, which I have done in the past. Oh, I've got to go back to this sort of view. So I have done meetings in the past. The trouble is I get zoomed out, because you can only have 40 minutes on a free Zoom chat. Any questions, feel free to ask. I know I keep saying £72, don't want that up there. See, that actually isn't part of the hotel. But what I like about doing this is the way you can just the way this just builds up into when you put colour on. Although it looks quite plain at the moment, it will actually build up. I just need to see the pattern of that pavement. It will build up into a nice, especially these stones. I do like doing stones like this. So it's a bit of a vignette really of what's going on here. So you can sort of widen these little cracks out a little bit, things like that. You can make this a bit crooked. I'm squinting. I do squint. It probably looks awful from there. Awful. Look at me looking at the screen, and it's I do actually. I have varifocals on, which makes it even more difficult. I don't know if anyone else has varifocals, but yeah, they're fun and games, varifocals. So I've sort of got the accurate bit here, which is what I wanted. The rest I'm not too worried about. I will put some sort of lines in like this. You sort of get the idea of how these pavements are on this section. Right, okay, so yeah, this bit of detail here is just bothering me a little bit, because I said earlier I didn't sort of put enough pencil detail in, so I'm going to go down like that. Got this thick something going on here which is very dark. Try not to So has anyone used dip pens before? Do people regularly use dip pens? Are you all dip pen lovers, or are you just a little bit curious as to what's going on? Oh, this mouse is so sensitive, the zoom on it. It's an Apple mouse. Yeah. Dip pens. I didn't really want to get this shop in, but it would look odd. The balance of the painting would look odd if this wasn't there, I think. So I sort of have to get that in. And then you notice when you're looking at angles on windows, you don't see all of the reveal. So you don't see all the panes from the stuff further down the street. They get narrower, so they're narrower, and then they're wider as they sort of come towards you. So like this one, you can't see this fourth pane fully. What am I doing here? That's right, one. So although the pencil is there, I'm sort of not following it exactly, and I've gone wrong there, look. I'm not following it exactly. It doesn't really matter. It was there as a guide. I'm just staying away from that at the moment until I might have to make it look some pencil lines a bit sharper before I go over it with ink. I don't know if these are accurate either. I'm not too worried about whether they are or not. There's some sort of cutout in the brickwork here, don't know what that is. Has anyone got any questions? Is everyone still there? Somebody say something. What weather have you got where you are? Okay, right, where are we at? Where are we at? That bit there, is that bit there? So okay, I'm going to have to tackle this coat, aren't I? Coat of arms, I think. So I don't know how long I'm going to go live for. Now, I'm not going to be too precise on this, but I've got the sort of shape of a lion, I think. A lion and a unicorn. I've sort of done this, some pencil, so I'm going to put some, and I've got the tail, so I'm going to put some strokes like this, and his leg comes down like that. This sort of head comes round, and then he's got some sort of crown on like that. And his tail is a bit of an S backward S shape. I think it's got a point on it, but it sort of goes round like that with a bit of a point. Oh, it's a pigeon. There's a pigeon sat there on it. I wonder what that was. So right there, where I don't know if you can see my mouse, there's a pigeon right above his bum sat there. Oh, I thought it was a ball. That's a pigeon. There we go. Never saw that. No, I don't know whether this is going to be wholly accurate or not. I'm trying the best I can here. But they're holding a shield, the pair of them. And I put ink up there. No, I haven't. That's good. And then you've got obviously Google blurring some of this out. His hand comes down. That's part of the shield. I mean, it's not a hand, it's a paw, isn't it? This sort of thing. It's got a face looking at me, it's like a horse's head. With an ear that you can see like that. Put two eyes on. Something around the nose is quite dark. Again, he's got like a leg coming down. Leg coming down. And then he's resting up like this. Something's going on here that I can't quite see. This leg's coming in like that. Give him an eye. I don't know if his eye's there, but got to give him an eye. Then we have a coat of arms, haven't we? So I'll just represent that with a bit of a cross like that. Okay, so there we go. We've got some sort of coat and shield and stuff going on there. Good enough, I think. Just need some more brickwork in here. And they sort of do match up, so I'm just going to cheat a little bit and just put some of these in, put some of these horizontals in. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so I've sort of got the basis of what I wanted here. I'm just going to fill a little bit of the top. Has anyone got any questions? Feel free to ask any questions. I don't mind people trying to have a chat. Like I say, it's a little bit lonely otherwise. So I do actually want to just get some sort of hint of that top row going in. Let me just put that pen down. So those that weren't watching earlier, there was a bit of a smudge here. I'm not used to doing this dip pen. So you just have to be careful with the wetness of the ink. So what I'm looking at here is I've got a the other thing, obviously it gets smaller as it goes away from you, so the perspective, so I've got that line, and then I've got above this window I've got a thickness of about that for a row of bricks. And then it's a thinner. So actually the windows are not really going to be that much infused. So this window is going to be, sorry, here and here. That window is not going to be in view. This window is just lashing it down here, absolutely lashing it down. I think we've got a storm coming through. What do I need? I need to zoom in a little bit here. In fact, oops, completely the wrong angle there. I'm not going to get too hung up on these bricks. So they're going to just be of a similar nature, I think. Because really, actually, I won't be doing much up here at all. This will just be it'll just be left. Okay, so I just need to put some panes in here. And some panes. Anyone on chat there? Jorgen Ahalia. Hello guys, hope you're all well. Hope we can see okay. Let me just move that up. The keyboard, move that out of the way. So those that have I did this let's put that down, sorry. I did this one before, can't remember when I started this sketchbook, obviously it's a lot smaller. March 2025, so this wouldn't have been much after that, so probably sometime in March I did this, obviously a lot smaller and not as detailed, so it's a view looking down the street. And as I quite liked, I thought I'd spend a bit more time getting a bit more accurate and using my dip pen, which I haven't really used much for inking. So I don't know how it's just going to turn out. I'm going to let this dry and then go through and rub out some of the pencil and then mess about with some colour. But I was sort of what made me come to this is I was reading a book about Quentin Blake. I don't know if anyone knows Quentin Blake, the illustrator, and what's this book called? It's called Not for Art's Sake, Thames and Hudson. Look. So I was reading this, and it's edited by Claudia Zeff, Thames and Hudson. It's a library book. So I took this out of the library and was reading about how he illustrates books, but how he also likes to go beyond books, and he gets commissioned to do all sorts of things, you know, for buildings and it's, the book is lovely. It's got lots of like drawings in and stuff like that, but it's also split into 4 sections. It's called Public Places. Public places, hospitals, because he's obviously done a lot of illustrations for hospitals, companies, and community and charity, which is obviously a big section. So he obviously does a lot for community and charity. But what I quite like his just simplicity of his style. And there was a section on, let me just find it, companies. So I don't think he does a lot for companies, but when he does it, I think he likes a subject matter. He says Quentin often turned down commercial commissions other than for books, magazines or newspapers, as he felt that they could be construed as advertising, but he has accepted some because of the subject matter and the appeal of the commission or the person asking him. I mean, that's what comes obviously when you're famous and you have notoriety. You can pick and choose what you want to do, of course. But I got looking and I saw this from the Dorchester 2016. I'm going to quickly flash it here, the Dorchester illustration, and it's just so simple. So he's obviously done something for the Dorchester, something to do with the Champagne Company, Laurent Perrier. Yeah, and I thought, well, I quite like buildings, and that was quite a nice vignette of the Dorchester, which I thought I would like to try that. And so I haven't done it in his loose style, I've gone and done it tight now, but I quite like this view that is on the screen. In fact, it's not on the screen because you can see, you can't see that, you can see that. Now it's on screen. So I quite like the view with this. And how it matches up. So but I haven't done anything like the style that he's done. I've done it a little bit tighter, and I might change. I sort of just wanted. I got penciling, and then you just carry on, and a little bit more detail, and before you know it, that's what happens. What have I done now? So there you go. There was a blob of ink. The fun of using dip pens. There was a blob of ink there that I didn't notice. So I'm just going to wet that and try and get some of that off. So you can see things don't always go right, do they, when you're doing this? And you know, that's my sketchbook, that's this page. You can't get too hung up about it. But yeah, there we go. It is just a sketchbook, so it's now sort of ruined. So that's one thing I might learn from working with dip pen. I can't go in that soon with the rubber. Yeah, it's not rubbing out at all well, this. So maybe I should have just left that. Hey ho. So now I've got two blobs, but I might end up doing this again. In fact, I enjoyed it, so I will probably end up doing it again. You just learn from the process, don't you? So I do have a softer putty eraser somewhere, but I can't actually find it. So I don't know how I'm going to resurrect this, but I probably don't want to do this live because I don't know if this is long enough really, this video. Are people actually interested in this? Are they interested in watching me mess up this whole page? Is anyone interested? Is anyone there? Hello? Speak to me. Well, there must be people there. Because there seem to be 9 people there, but so let's turn that off for a minute. There, I've got a nice splodge, which is a bit annoying. It might be able to resurrect something on this. I don't know, but I'm not going to get too down about it. As they say, shit happens. Right, okay. So you just have to put up with it, don't you, really? But what I was saying, anyway, Quentin Blake, he that book got me looking at that Dorchester picture, and it was something I wanted to try, and this was the building I wanted to try this on. But what I found is I ended up enjoying getting accurate. And I've just done it again now on that other one. Oh, look. So this ink is not drying at all well on here. So I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm just gonna leave it for the time being, because this is it's all gone a little bit haywire. So there we go. That's a lesson learned with dip pens. So this is a script Leonardo, I think G script they call it, Leonard G script pen, very fine. What I did do, I ended